How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Radical Computer Solutions YouTube channel. My name is Tom, and welcome back to my playthrough of Gamedec. So we've got a bunch of quests we are gonna try and get through in this episode. First one being, I think we're gonna see if we can't find out who this the Outlaw is, and figure out what his dealio is. Thinking my friends down here, the orange gang or whatever they're called, the orange folk, I'm assuming they can probably help me. Let's see, anyone? Beaufort. Listen, I didn't really have to help you, but I did anyway. I try to help all orange folk, even those who don't expect me to. Any information could help. True, not all of us wanted a Gamedec snooping around here. Not everyone chipped in, like me, for example. It's harder for us since one of the girls sort of abandoned us, ran away, said it was her dream to see some other locations in the game. I don't know, maybe she did it just to spite us. Go now. Please, I don't want any trouble. Well, fine. How about you? Okay.
Please don't hit me.
Howdy, Gamedec. So I've heard you're working for the sheriff. Good call. The law has to be respected. I understand that you're chasing an outlaw, and you'd like to question my people. That's problematic. You'd take too much of their time. From what I heard, the outlaw is anxious to leave High Rock. You should take your detective skills to a different part of town. Well, good luck and good day to you. That was weird. Let's see. Who is the sheriff? I have tried. Sheriff for the Nanette Foundation under the pseudonym Mr. Lebsky. I don't think we have enough information to make a deduction quite yet. Alright, using the keyboard is not working for this, so I'm going the wrong way. I guess we'll see if any of the other town folk can help us. I guess we'll just start by going this way. Horse. What a fucking ripoff. I spent so much money on this shit. Well, maybe if I play darts, he'll talk to me. It's a darts booth. How about a game? Don't fuck with me. That minigame was my favorite pastime in Harvest. I was the best. I got all the achievements. I beat everyone. No cheating. I was famous in all of Harvest. And you know what? The fucking devs screwed the game over with the latest patch because it wasn't making enough money. The greedy fuckers. Okay, I guess I won't play a game with you. Well. Jumping down this well was certain death. I was sure to end up in the graveyard. That's not what I want to do. How about the Gravedigger?
Greetings, friend.
Hello again, dear player. I guess you won't help me.
How's it going?
It's going fantastic. How are you? They say you know a lot about horses. I'm considered an expert around here. I'm a decent rider, too. Horse secrets are a hobby of mine, you could say. For instance, who else knows that a hungry horse stamps its hoof 3 times? I know it. From the game. Games are great educational systems. Did this girl actually believe what she was saying? It was nothing but nonsense. And let's tell her how it really is. Horses don't behave like this in Rillium. Some designer had the idea to have the animals communicate hunger like this, and they put it in. This game is my reality, get it? So I'm in the right. Bye, Millie. I'll see you around. Bye. Bye, weirdo.
Hello.
Hello. Fruity Hilda. Hello, what a nice day. What's going on in town? How are things in High Rock? Sorry, I don't know anything. I'm trying to stay away from other players for now. You know anything about the Orange Farmers? Only that they trade stuff with Betty. She might know more. She's a talker. You know, I overheard that some players address her in a particular way. They lean over and say, "Show me your wares," very emphatically. I think it's some kind of a password. Stanley. I'm looking for a player named Stanley. Do you know him? Well, her stand is next to mine, but I don't think her business is limited to selling fruit. What do you sell? Nothing at the moment. My trade channel is closed. Getting ready to take on the town profession of a merchant. Currently, I'm practicing slogans. Bye. Enjoy the game, partner. Ooh. Who do we have here? Our favorite Twisted player. How fortunate. Oh, God.
Hello. We have a few simple questions for you.
As a Harvest Time player, it will only take a moment, unless you're like Ben Bow. Don't be like Ben Bow, the Girl Scout. What's the point of this interrogation? We're collecting data. You'll learn more over the course of it. Yeah, sure. Okay, go ahead. Here we go. Question number 1. How long have you been playing Harvest Time? I've got no reason to lie to them. Not long, less than a day. Question number 2. Have you ever been to the graveyard on the hill? Yes, I have. Alright, listen, here's question number 3. Have you heard about the Tree of Knowing? I have not. I saw a very large tree in deep past world once. I think it was a sequoia. Is that what you mean? Sadly, no. Another question. Focus. Have you ever experienced flashbacks that weren't yours? No. No, I have not. Do you ever feel like someone is telling you what to say, as if they've taken over your mind and will? Can't say that I have, even though that's literally what I'm doing. No, not at all. I felt a wave of intense anxiety. A part of me flipped out upon hearing the question and made me say no. Hey, easy. We're just talking, okay? It should go smoothly now. Give me any number that comes to your mind. I guess 314. 314. 304. What? What kind of question is that? What are you trying to drag me into? Take it easy. Don't freak out. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. That's all. Your turn. Is there anything you want to ask us? Let's talk about the investigation. I'm conducting an investigation and I'm collecting information about residents. We answered our questions, so we owe it to you. What do you mean or who do you mean in particular? Let's ask about this Outlaw. Do you know a player called the Outlaw? Yes. No. We've never met any Outlaw, but people say there is this guy, an outcast. I've heard he pissed off the sheriff himself, and now he's looking to bail out to another level. They also say he's covered by Rusty Ed, and it's the only reason why the sheriff hasn't nailed him yet. I hope we helped at least a bit. Why are you interested in the Tree of Knowing? Why are you asking about the Tree of Knowing? We're collecting info for our clan. It's a top secret mission, you know, so we can't tell you much. Actually, we don't know much either. Haha. If you learn anything, make sure to let us know. Totally. Come back with some solid info on a tree and you won't regret it. The Han clan knows how to return a favor. What was behind the question about a number? That 314. Does it mean anything? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. We're not quite sure, but we're checking it out. Actually, it's not the first time we've heard such a response from an interviewee. But the fact that you reacted quite oddly to that number may mean something. So how's your clan doing? What was the name? It starts with an H, right? Oh man, the Hun clan. Best org in the world. With the most profound message, concept, and narrative. It's a riot, dude. Make sure to drop into Make sure to drop into Knight's Code. That's where our headquarters are. Jeez, it's so amazing. Like, everything starts making sense. Okie dokie. Talk to you.
Come, everything's for sale.
Ask about the Outlaw. Looking for information about the Outlaw. I heard that that player was here recently. Oh, that new character. Leveled up real quick and hold him.
Hey, you want to join the gang for the Pumpkin King raid?
No, I don't. Stop asking. Leveled up real quick and hold themselves up somewhere. I'm afraid they might be another fraud. Another fraud. Do you think the Outlaw is working with someone? Is there some kind of gang here? Hard to say. We had some trouble with this guy, Black Rook. He peddled illegal items and swindled people. The admins banned him at the sheriff's request.
But there is so much to do.
It was funny she said that, since it was Betty who took over Black Rook's business. Yeah, that's comments about it. And now you've taken over his business. That's true, but I'm honest. To my clients, I mean. How about the sheriff? What do you think about the sheriff, Betty? What everyone in High Rock does. He's a solid and helpful player. I suppose you don't have an opinion yet. You're still new around here.
I got the premium decoration pack.
That's nice. People with good reputations always make me suspicious. And rightly so. It's always best to see for yourself. Let's say the secret password. Show me your wares. I have a firearm for 5,000 coins. Interested? Thanks, but I can't afford it. Can you tell me something about your life in Rillium? Sure, it's not a secret. I work for the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I organize new holidays. That's sad. Are you saying that you're at work right now? You're on a couch somewhere in the ministry? That's right, sweetheart. We've got a lot of free time here. Currently, we're working on Neighbor's Day. Oh, God. Neighbor's Day? Sounds interesting. We're talking Rillium, not some in-game event, right? Yes, Rillium needs holidays and events just as much as games do. This event is supposed to counteract the most common cause of depression in free Europe. Loneliness. Yeah, free Europe, huh? People will go out to parking lots and squares carrying treats. Then the host will initiate conversations with simple icebreakers. It's not a bad idea. That's a really good idea. I'd like to get to know my neighbors myself. Really? I think it's idiotic, but the office pays us to come up with this stuff, and I can play Harvest Time in the meantime.
Enjoying the game?
Okay, bye. You asked about that player. I know that Black Rook and the Outlaw were doing shady business together, but you didn't hear that from me. Okie dokies then. Rusty Ed. An older man was sitting on a barrel scanning the area. Long beard, dust on his shoulders. He looked like he'd been gathering that dust for a decade. Hello. Hello, I'm a Gamedec, and I'm the guild master of Rusty Ed's guild. Ha, just a fun fact. You want to ask an old-timer about farming tricks? Go ahead. Rusty Ed has a lot of stories up his sleeve. I guess we'll just start by asking all the questions. Are you the guild master of Rusty Ed's guild? I am. It's a guild open to all players of adequate level. What level do I need to be at? In order to join Rusty Ed's guild, you need to listen to 3 daily stories. What are you doing in the game? What are you doing here, Gramps? So there are still curious people in the world. I mean, people that possess the virtue of curiosity. I'll tell you, I look at those young players and I can see they don't know a thing. And you know what they do about it. They ask old-timers. They ask experienced players for help. Yeah, right, they never ask. They always know better. I've played this game for years. I've achieved everything. I know everything. No one asks me a goddamn thing. I see them growing carrots, and I know they'd grow faster with a barrel of ice beside them. But does anyone ask? No. You know why? Is it? You tell me, Ed. The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Perfect. just like every other day.
Rookies overrate their knowledge, mentors undersell theirs, but the world is changing too, especially this game. It all used to be more true to life, more difficult, and those scallywag youngsters would get the bum's rush. But I digress, and I bet you there's something you want to talk to me about, isn't there? Maybe you want to hear a story. Yeah, sure, tell me a story. Tell me a story. Got 3 stories today.
My phone? I got the premium decoration.
The topics are a legendary artifact, how I became sheriff, and old game systems. Which do you want to hear? How did you become the sheriff? Because I didn't think you were. You used to be the sheriff here? Tell me about it. Where do I start? You know, we're not all up and about in here. We're not waving our arms around. Our corpses lie still on couches. Mine at my place, yours at your place. Sometimes it's all about speed here, especially with duels. But I mean your neuronal speed, not bodily. If you want to be a sheriff, you must beat the previous one. You must be faster, more precise. Go on. This guy was good. Everyone could see it, but I noticed something. He would enter the game for up to 3 hours, maybe 4. It was always like that, but once he lingered, playing poker, it was 6 hours, 7. And guess what? The guy was staggering, dropping off. I noticed his fragile brain, quick, but easily fatigued. It was his vulnerability. Next time I played him myself, I kept letting him win. I challenged him to a sunset duel after he had spent 12 hours here. He couldn't turn it down. That's the rule. Excuse me. He was good, but I could see in his eyes that he had already lost. His eyelids were twitching from the adrenaline rush. It's not adrenaline. Human eyelids are innervated by 2 motor nerves, autonomous and autonomic, part of the sympathetic nervous system. When you're tired, the latter turns off and your eyelids droop, even though you consciously try to raise them. He was just exhausted. So he wouldn't give up without a fight. He knew that would insult me. Don't get me wrong, he was a good guy. He knew I'd discovered his weakness. Maybe if he had money, he could have paid to get his neurons enhanced. Maybe that's what the poker was for. I never saw him again in here. Maybe he had a breakdown. Was he fed up with his quick fatigue? That bothered me a bit. Anyway, I was sheriff here for a full month before I lost a duel, but I've never forgotten that guy. He had a nice vintage Nick. Killed them all. Oh man. Killed them all? I know him. I've met him many times. I even invited him to my show once. Really? Hot damn. Well, I'm glad he's still holding up. Alright, I suspect you want to ask me a question now. Go ahead.
This game is so addictive.
I know, right? Let's ask him about the Outlaw. You know anything about a player called the Outlaw? Do I know anything? I can't tell you that. The Outlaw is a member of Rusty Ed's guild, just like dozens of other players that asked nicely enough. I guess I could admit you two, kid. Then you can have it out with him like civilized players. I don't know who he is. Don't really care. Well then, could you admit me to your guild? Leanne said you could sign me up. Yes, I can, if you listen to 3 of my stories. That's the rule of Rusty Ed's guild. Well, fine. Tell me a story.
This game is so addictive.
You've heard the story of how I became sheriff. Would you like to hear about the legendary artifact, or maybe the old game systems? Old game systems, definitely. Have there been any other systems here? The old man closed his eyes and smiled. It used to be a game with ambitions. It was all about portraying something genuine. Physical labor, soil, dirt. Things you don't get in Realium. You took your spade, you know, and there were roots in the ground that you had to dig through.
Hey, you want to join the gang for the Pumpkin King raid?
No. There were snails now and then. You grabbed them and either threw them into your neighbor's field or you killed them. I hate snails. How do I deal with snails? Snails, that sounds media worthy. Can you tell me more about them? My viewers crave stories about oddities in old games. I cut the ones I caught in half and placed them around my garden. Other snails came to feed on them. Then I put them in a jar and covered them with salt. They turned to jelly. Jars sold for 100 coins each. That is gross. Gross. No wonder those mollusks are no longer in the game. So working on a farm was hard, alright. People said they had muscle aches after going back to Rillium. That was neurotransmission at work. You visualized your garden, then got lost into work. Digging up dirt, sweating, and then seeing the end product of months of work. It was therapeutic. Then, upon player request, the devs started making it easier. They removed fatigue, sped up plant growth, got rid of adverse weather. Then they introduced premium accounts, subscriptions, microtransactions, and all that was left of the game was the box. Yikes.
I need to log out, but there is so much to do.
Let's comment on the changes. Game changes according to trends and audience preferences. There are still worlds like Happy Hunting Grounds with full-on simulation. Trend schmens. Moneymakers got their hands on it and turned something that mattered to players into something that mattered to them. I've talked enough. I can answer your questions now. Go ahead. Let's see. Let's ask about Billy. Tell me something about the local sheriff. You know that Billy guy? He's been nagging me lately, asking me to admit him to the guild. Him and those two loyal cowboys of his. You know, that cowboy, Aki, and Mad Dog. Although the latter doesn't come here often. But I refuse every time they ask. I don't trust them. But keep that to yourself. Yeah, but now I'd like to nap. Oh, God. Let's wake him up. Wake up, buddy.
Greetings, new player.
Oh, I was snoring. Sorry. No, thank goodness it's harvest. There's no snoring here, unless I missed some patch. Tell me one last story. Got one more. Alright, it was about... Oh, cool, I got a Steam achievement. Alright, it was about a decade ago. An event was announced that would last all year. A year. It was said that one of the loot boxes would contain a Legend of Harvest Time, the artifact jewel. I can still remember it. It was a house in the game. House of Happiness. It was covered in flowers. It boosted the joy neurotransmitters of whoever was in it. That sort of software can cause an addiction. Did they warn anyone about it? I don't know much about it, but let me tell you one thing. A lot more was allowed in games back then compared to today.
Gang for the Pumpkin King raid?
I wish these NPCs would shut the fuck up. So there was this player, Ted Godiva, who sold his apartment, everything he had, to improve his chances. He spent a lot of money on boosts. That's how he got that treasure. The house is still hovering somewhere in the game, in Elysium. He settled here in harvest time.
Want to see my farm? I got the premium decoration.
He became a zonet. He only had enough money to keep his brain alive for a few months. Even while he was dying, he kept smiling. I've read a report on zonets. He'd need lots of money to stay alive for years, and not to just keep a netrium. An organic brain gets older. Someone would have to keep providing him Everbrain, a regenerative enzyme. Maintaining a netrium liquids the enzyme. It costs a fortune. Okay, now that you've listened to my story, I can answer your questions. Why not have a list? It has to be admitted to the guild. Could you admit me to your guild? Sure, you listen to my stories and I can see you're not a member of any other guild. Just a minute.
There is so much to do.
There, welcome to Rusty Ed's Guild. Make sure to read the terms and conditions. Just one sentence. Be nice. Yeehaw! You are now a member of Rusty Ed's Guild. Thus, you get access to the guild house, where you will find tons of attractions. The guild house is available from level 15, so get on your farm and level up.
You have to level up more.
Don't worry about the levels. My guild runs on principles from 20 years ago when there was no such limitation. The house is open. Sweet. I've always liked to see it. I've always liked to see it come and go. That's the appeal of old games. How about Leanne? What can you tell me about Leanne? I got the impression you know her. I do, from way back. But I can't tell you anything because it's not polite to gossip at all.
Enjoying the game?
I'm conducting an investigation here. I'm trying to help other players. I just want to know who she is. I need that information. Well, if you're helping others, Leanne is a new character of a friend of mine. She came back to Harvest Time after a lengthy hiatus. She heads the Nanette Foundation in Rillium. It's an organization that protects children. She's a good, honest person. That's all I can say. Yeah, but now I'd like to take a nap. Okie dokie then. What did we unlock? Anything? Yeah, well... Outlaw's the real victim here. Person that hides in a game instead of logging out and despairing and really can't be guilty of anything. Perpetrator. I suspect the outlaw is responsible for the problems of the orange folk. That's why she's wanted and in hiding. Oh, it's a she? I didn't know that. I suspect that the outlaw is a cheater. That's why she's hiding and why the sheriff is after her. However, I don't think she's responsible for the problems of the orange folk. I don't know enough information about that yet. Oops. Ritualium. Harvest time. Okay. Don't think we have enough information on that yet. Find the outlaw. So if the outlaw is part of the guild that I just joined, then I should be able to find them in the guild house. Hello. Hi, Leanne.
Oh, it's you.
Leanne was absorbed in a book. At least she seemed to be. The woman slowly looked up at me. Oh, it's you. So what do you know about the outlaw? Have you heard anything about a player called the Outlaw? That girl upstairs? I don't know her. I think she's new. She's strange. She just sits there and reads books. You seen her talk to anyone? No, nobody came to see her. She's alone. Well, let's go have a talk. Upon seeing me, the girl tossed her book away and made a few hesitant steps towards the exit. She was frightened. Stay away. Get lost. I would say, don't move closer. I stopped. I didn't want to exacerbate the situation. She gave me an appraising look. The sheriff sent you, right? He did not. What? Of course not. He wanted something from me, so I nodded along to get him off my back. What an obnoxious man. That's good, but I'm still not talking to you. Trust me, I'm here to help you. No, I don't believe you. Be smart and trust me. I'm a doctor. I help people every day, and I want to help you too. Oh, a doctor? The last time I saw a doctor, he was cutting my umbilical cord. I convinced her to listen to me. Now I had to get her to trust me. Let's be open. That usually helps. Listen, you know that you're no match for the sheriff alone, right? The girl nodded in agreement. Think about it. How would lying to you, framing you, serve my interests? If I'm here giving you the time of day, my intentions must be good, right? Well, maybe. The girl looked at me like a dog that used to be beaten, but decided to trust their new owner anyway. Aww. Check it, ask who she's working with, have her tell you about herself. Can you tell me something about yourself? Not much to tell, although I did recently give my supervisors the slip. I'm sorry, I'm just sorry I didn't get to see that asshole Aki's face. Oh, so she was part of that clan. My dream is to visit all in-game locations. There's a snag. I can't leave without a ticket for the Midnight Express. It arrives this evening. Well, I can get you a ticket to the Midnight Express. What do you think of that? What do I think? That's all I've ever dreamed of. Do it, please. Who are you working with? Actually, no one. I'm alone. All alone. Really? You don't have any partners? I don't, I swear. Tell me, what do you know about the sheriff? He's a cunt, for one. He has a pair of goons. 2. Aki, usually watching us at the farm. And Mad Dog, usually watching the sheriff's ass. I don't think I've talked to Mad Dog yet. Cool. Well, alright. Alright, guys. I think I'm going to end this episode here anyway. Guess I'll figure out off camera how to actually give her the ticket that she needs. And then in tomorrow's episode, we'll move on and see if we can't find out more information about the sheriff. You know, maybe talk to this, see if we can't find this Mad Dog guy and talk to him. So, alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.